Mr. Panetta's decision follows a recommendation from the nation's top generals, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and it surprised many Pentagon observers.
Female service members have faced the reality of combat, proven their willingness to fight, and yes, to die, to defend their fellow Americans.
The decision overturns a 1994 directive restricting women from combat roles. The military's senior officers were thought to be uneasy about opening the most physically demanding positions to women. Women's veterans organizations say it is about time the Pentagon caught up with the reality of the modern battlefield. They say women have been serving alongside men in de facto combat roles in Iraq and Afghanistan and receiving no credit for their accomplishments. Retired Air Force Brigadier General Wilma Vaught is president of the Women in Military Service for America Memorial Foundation.
Back in 1990-91, when we really recognized that the front line was no more, that, if you were in that type situation, combat was everywhere, and women were in it. And we had women in units that needed to be there. If the unit was going to deploy, women had to deploy with it.
But other veterans say this is a bad idea. Retired Army Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin, now with the Conservative Family Research Council, says the decision puts unnecessary weight on commanders when they are trying to succeed at their mission and keep soldiers alive.
As a result of that, there's no privacy, there's no place for personal hygiene or other normal functions. And it puts a burden on commanders and leaders at every level to try and find some way to separate the sexes for those types of things.
Pentagon experts say lawmakers and civil rights advocates have pushed for a more inclusive military. And several women service members have sued the Pentagon, arguing that the combat ban is discriminatory. Brigadier General Vaught says the change gives women a chance at many command positions that require experience in combat units.
They have been denied promotion because they weren't eligible to be in some of these types of jobs. And there are certain type of jobs, if you aren't in those jobs, that you can't compete for other types of jobs.
The biggest change will be in the Army and Marine Corps, where 25% of active duty positions are closed to women. Jeff Swicord, VOA News, Washington.